Okay, so just as a reminder, we ended last time being in the asylum, and we were about to I think pull a switch that was then going to cause potentially a big distraction so that we could get out of the Riverside. I guess it's the Institute, not asylum. Anyway, so we can get out of the Institute. Pierre and Officer Bradley followed the intruder to the secret meeting place of a cult set in a network of underground caves right under the Hawkins Manor. They witnessed a strange ceremony led by a Charles Hawkins, very much alive. Bradley tried to arrest him, but Hawkins, whose body displayed various mutations, disemboweled the police officer. As he tried to escape from him, Pierce found himself prisoner of a rockfall. Rushed to the Riverside Institute, he is in a critical state. Well, except that we've progressed a ways, right? We're not in a critical state. Now, we're up and about, and we've done several things, right? I believe I got it to save, like, pretty much just about right before we were going to pull a lever to cause an electric charge or wherever to go. Maybe turn the lights off or something, or turn a machine on, something. Anyway, it's going to cause some kind of disturbance, I think, that's going to draw guards to him or whatever. Potentially. But we're going to have to go back through the little vent and have like a panic attack from claustrophobia. I guess Pierce has claustrophobia. Possibly from the rock fall, but possibly from earlier. I don't know about his World War I experience, what all he had to deal with. I know he was in a place where they just kind of left them. And he was one of the few survivors of that group, but otherwise... Yeah. When an enemy suspects your presence, a white marker, yeah. Changes to red if they see you, basically. Wow, is this... Okay, is that just lag from loading, or is that... Hang on one sec. Got sand or something, I don't know, underneath my mouse. Okay. So if I... I wonder, can I pull this closed, maybe? There. So then they'll be less likely to just notice it automatically. I am a little concerned that this doesn't shut behind me. But I think we're going to be okay. I guess we'll find out here in a second. And I got to get through here. Oh, you know what? I think I messed that up. I'm pretty sure I messed that up. I think I had to pull the lever. Or is it now I pull this one? Okay, see, that's already pulled. Crud. I did that wrong. Okay, hang on. Let's... Rather than... Oh, maybe I could just go last checkpoint. Is that just going to put me back where it was? Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I have to pull this as well, I think. Wait, what?
This lever must turn on the gas machine.
Yeah. So I turn that, and then go through, I think, is what I need to do. So we'll do that again. But I didn't do this. I think you probably lose a little bit of sanity when you go through there. I want to totally screw myself over with... Alright, so we'll do this first. And then this.
The piping hasn't burst. Not yet, anyway.
I do think the piping is going to burst, though. I think. I don't know if it's a timing thing or if there's something else I need to do. I'm going to wait for a minute or two. Doesn't seem like something is happening. Would you? Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't want. Obviously, I wouldn't want to spend like a long time in an event. I think that'd be uncomfortable and stuff. But I don't. I would be fine with it. I think I'm not claustrophobic. We used to actually, when we were kids, my brother and sister and I would play hide and seek and stuff, and I'd hide like in small cramped spaces and stuff in closets and stuff. It was totally. I was fine. It was. I thought it was just a legitimate place to hide. I mean, I didn't think much else of it. So nothing's happened. So what am I still missing? But I don't have like a map or anything, so I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't see any. None of these even are the institute where we are. Okay, so how? I wonder. Not a tiny vent. Yeah, I don't. I mean, I honestly don't know for sure. If it was a really cramped vent and I was there for a long time, it might scar me. I don't know, but I know that I've done like some, not severe, not like extreme or anything, but I've done some spelunking and stuff, and I was completely fine. So I've been in total pitch black, was totally fine. I've been in claustrophobic places, totally fine. I've also, because you're spelunking, so it's underground caverns, there are places where there are cliffs and stuff. So I've been up on like a high place, right, where you could drop far and stuff, and I was totally fine. So none of those three factors bother me. So something like spelunking is something I can do. But we've talked about before, I think I am mildly hydrophobic. I'm a little bit afraid of the water. Like if I'm in water over my head, I get a little bit nervous, like a nervous tug in the back of my head. So there's that. Okay, I'm wondering if there was gas, maybe I was supposed to use my cigarette lighter. I've got that, right? Yeah.
The door is blocked on the other side.
How is my sanity? I guess it's not gone down. It doesn't look like it has. But I don't know. So say the pipes aren't bursting. Yeah, there's got to be somewhere where it's like leaking or something, right? But I don't think back in that room, I don't remember seeing gas come out. So I don't think that's the answer.
He'll find me. He can see me.
Let's calm down, please.
No, no.
Pain is just information, dear Francis. Invaluable information for my research.
Kill me. Kill me.
What?
If you don't kill me, he will.
My poor friend, I fear your mind is lost forever.
Okay, that's messed up. I thought for a second maybe that would be a distraction, but no. Apparently not. And since this guy clearly sucks at distraction... Hey, give me some painkillers and then I'll totally distract him for you. Okay, here. Oh, guess what? It didn't distract anybody. Oh. Well, that's unfortunate for me, I suppose. Oh. I wonder if I now use this.
That should draw the attention of the guards. I should hide.
Damn it.
Yeah, I should.
What's going on? Is there some...
Can I go up here? Probably not, huh? Oh, yeah.
Damn.
Apparently I'm going in here. Great.
Doctor, is that you?
Don't you worry about the doctor. Right now, he'll have plenty to keep him busy with his precious machine. It gives us time to get away. I'll undo you.
Get away? Get away where? I can't go anywhere. It'll find me, like it found me here. You're mistaken about the beast. Don't stay with me, or you'll end up the same way.
I don't have enough medicine. Crap.
What is the exact nature of the beast you're running away from?
You've got instinct, a sensitivity for the invisible. It puts you in danger. The creature that is pursuing me is not from our world.
After what I've seen so far on this island, I'm ready to believe you.
Don't do that! Do not believe, or you'll end up like us all.
What happened to you, Sanders?
The real culprit is Sarah. Her and her accursed paintings.
You're kidding me. You're talking about Sarah Hawkins.
The one and only. The legendary. There is no artist more enlightened or cursed than Sarah Hawkins.
In her office, I saw signs of a ritual, perhaps an invocation. These things, that's what makes you say she's cursed.
You're wrong. It was not an invocation, but a revocation. But she failed. And that's what counts.
What's going on this island?
I'm so sorry. We should never have met.
What are you talking about?
Destiny! It has trapped you. No, don't let it see you, or you won't be able to escape it. Don't look at it. That's how it finds you.
What finds me?
Sarah Hawkins' visitor. The Chandler.
Sanders, pull yourself together.
Without her, it's no longer possible to
The aficionado of horror.
No!
Sanders! What the hell? I gotta... Okay. This is insane. What killed him?
See, it's right click Q or that, yeah. Maybe I go like this.
Damn! The gas! Oh. My head.
Later. We need to move on.
Okay, so we got out. Oh, and we're back at the Hawkins mansion, apparently. Pierce woke up in an asylum installed in the cellars of the Riverside Institute. He met Dr. Colden, a female friend of Bradley, who helped him to escape. Wandering through the corridors of this place where Dr. Fuller reigned supreme, Pierce was able to talk to a man called Francis Sanders. Before dying in full view of the detective, he accused Sarah Hawkins of being the cause of his torments. Pierce finally left the accursed building, accompanied by Bradley and Colden. The companions in misfortune decide to use the Hawkins mansion as a hideout. Okay, so we were able to get out. Sorry, I've been missing some chat. Let me see. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's, I've been reading. I'm not all, hang on one second here. I'll show you. I'm not very far in it yet. I'm going to obviously finish reading it. I'm just not that far yet. But I've started reading this book, Waking the Tiger. It's about healing trauma And I don't, as far as I mean, I don't, everybody's got trauma. I don't feel particularly afflicted by any trauma I have or anything, but I'm reading the book more to better understand people who are struggling with various types of trauma. I don't plan on getting into any profession like psychology or something where I'm going to try to like regularly work with people on that, but I want to understand them better, both so I can better empathize with them. So if they're doing something that might make somebody else impatient or something, it won't affect me that way. I'll be more understanding. And then also, because I write, it'll help me better understand things, and I'll write characters better who might be experiencing trauma. Yeah, it's called Waking the Tiger. So there's the Waking the Tiger, Healing Trauma. And this specifically is talking about not just the trauma itself, but physical manifestations of trauma in that a lot of people don't account for, because most psychology and psychiatry focuses on the mental, but this will focus on physical ramifications as well. So, for example, if you think of somebody like something like boo when they scare you or whatever, what happens? Well, your mind is like, holy, what was that? But your body like locks up some, right? And that's just a small thing. But that is a body reaction to what your mind experiences, right? So the same thing happens with trauma. When you go through trauma, you have a physical response in addition to the mental response. The mental response can be completely debilitating. It can make you not capable of acting in certain situations or whatever. But the physical response, it's like kind of like in that same example where you like that, your muscles tense up and parts of your body lock up very briefly, right? And then they relax again. Well, if you have prolonged trauma, the physical manifestation of that trauma is not handled. Parts of your body can be locked up for long periods of time. So you could get things like backaches, headaches, trouble, like you can get like tremors and things that you would not have expected necessarily from that. So yeah, and I'm not very far. I'm like, literally just barely started reading it. I'm on page 7 of the prologue. So I'm barely started, but it's an interesting anyway. It just reminded me of this. So, is this a dream he has? Cthulhu sees him. That's bad news. You don't want Cthulhu to notice you.
Who goes there? That nightmare again. I need a drink.
These are grave accusations. You realize what they mean. I have a duty to the patients. That man is toying with their lives. Precisely, while I find evidence, find what you want. I'm just trying to reason with you.
You're awake, Mr. Pierce. How do you feel?
Did I sleep long?
The day is only starting. It's fine.
So not with her. I guess I just talked with Bradley at this point. Oh, gotta go around the other way apparently. I'm like ramming into her knees. Move, lady, move. All right.
How's our fugitive? Dr. Fuller hasn't reported your disappearance to the force, but that'll come soon.
Bradley?
Who else would it be?
Mr. Pierce, are you all right? You look like you saw a ghost.
There are things I can't explain.
Tell us. What happened?
I saw people in hoods. They had stolen Mrs. Hawkins' paintings.
Who are you talking about? Why would they do such a thing?
I don't know, but they were a threat. They've taken over the caves under the mansion. They were performing some kind of ritual. One of the entryways was under Charles Hawkins' office.
We suspect Mr. Hawkins of being involved.
My patients believe the old islanders used to worship primitive sea gods. Could they be the focus of the cult?
Am I hearing this right?
So you think me gullible?
No, not at all.
What else did you uncover, Mr. Pierce?
I have flashbacks. They haunt me.
What did they do to you?
There was that Dr. Fuller and a nurse. Blood everywhere. My legs, the pain, I couldn't bear it. I was screaming. They injected me with something. I woke up at the Institute. Bradley was there.
And how you scared us. You seemed demented.
You likely woke up during the anesthesia. No wonder those memories haunt you. What in God's name were they doing to you?
What happened afterwards?
When I woke up the second time, I was in a padded cell. That's where you found me, Doctor. After you released me, I got a good look at what's in store for the patients of the Riverside Institute. Hallucinogenic gas pumped into the cells. An infernal machine. Horrific medical experiments.
Impossible. Dr. Fuller would never do such a thing.
You should believe it, Ethan. What Mr. Pierce saw is precisely what I've been trying to prove. Did you discover anything else?
I met a Francis Sanders. Do you know him?
Of course, he's a patient. Or was. I haven't seen him since Dr. Fuller had him transferred to the basement.
He knew Sarah Hawkins, and that's what killed him.
What? How did he die?
I'm not sure I can explain it.
Tell me how Mr. Sanders died.
It's going to make me sound like I'm crazy, though, right? The problem is, so in this kind of a situation, you have one of two ways you can go. You can either deny the truth, and your willful ignorance could get you killed, or you could tell people what you think you're experiencing, and they think you're insane, and they could very well have you recommitted to an institute. So unfortunately, I think both of them, both Bradley and Colden, are very rationally minded people, as is Pierce normally. So trying to say, oh, there's this old god that's killing people and stuff, they're probably not going to believe it, right? So I guess the thing that would most likely lead to them trying to help you, being willing to help you, is to choose the other option. Let's do this one.
Sanders started screaming and convulsing.
Convulsing? That doesn't fit with his history.
Then his body got all crooked.
What in God's name? And you were alone with him?
He accused Sarah Hawkins of being the culprit.
Sarah Hawkins? Have I missed something here? This makes no sense. I don't see how it can help crack the Hawkins case.
You really think she's involved? How could she have murdered Mr. Sanders?
Francis Sanders mentioned Mrs. Hawkins just before dying. It's no coincidence.
You know, Francis Sanders was a well-known art collector. I guess you can still pay a visit to his wife, Irene Sanders.
An art collector, you say? That's probably how they met.
If you plan on having dinner at the Sanders household, please spare the widow the tale of her late husband's suffering.
I don't agree. She deserves the truth.
But that truth may be biased. We don't know the bottom of it.
Just because you experience, well, she said the details of his suffering. I think it's not going to be elegant. She's going to really probably have a hard time with things, but I do think we're going to need to do this.
He's right. We can't ignore the truth.
But it could drive her mad.
Better madness than ignorance. Very well. I'll go to see Francis's widow. Perhaps I'll find a link between her husband's death and Sarah Hawkins.
Don't end up in the hospital this time.
I'll do my best.
Let us go now and learn the truth about what's happening on this island. Let us go now and learn the truth about what's happening on this island.
The other night's events are still confused in my head. The other night's events are still confused in my head.
Okay, I don't know that we're going to find anything else in here that we didn't already find previously, but just in case, I'll have a brief look around here. And we'll want to consult the journal for a couple of the new entries like Dr. Fuller and so on, just to make sure that we have all the information that the game has provided. Doesn't seem like there's anything new, but like I said, I just want to make sure, be thorough, right? Especially because of the kind of game it is, where it's an investigation. You want to make sure that you're not missing a clue that might be provided somewhere. That's leaving. Oh. And that's also what down below is doing, I'm assuming, as well, right? Yep. So I guess it doesn't matter. We're pretty much limited to this room and upstairs on the balcony there, and then it's leave. Okay, so I guess we'll just leave. Oh, wait. Let's look at the journal entries. Okay. So we got Darkwater, Inhabitants. We have Francis Sanders. He's grayed out now because he's deceased, just like these are. These also. And Edward Hawkins, or Charles Hawkins was until we saw him down below. Okay, Francis, age 47, art dealer. Francis Sanders knew Sarah Hawkins so well that he accused her of being the source of his suffering. The man gouged his eyes out with his own hands and smeared the walls of his cell with esoteric symbols. He seemed to be obsessed with a shambler linked to Sarah Hawkins. He died before my eyes in circumstances that I cannot explain. And then Dr. Fuller, age 52. Riverside senior physician. Dr. Fuller reigns as the undisputed master of the Riverside Institute and of its cellars, in which he carries out illegal experiments on his patients. I don't know what he's done to me, but I shouldn't be back on my feet so soon after my fall when the tunnels under the Hawkins mansion caved in. This man is dangerous, and I'd swear that he knows more about all this business than he's willing to tell. And then places we now have cellars of the Riverside Institute. Strictly speaking, I didn't spend much time in the hospital. When I woke up, I was immediately transferred into the cellars of the Institute, a sort of clandestine asylum where Dr. Fuller carried out his experiments on patients without being troubled. Unknown machines sit beside anatomical drawings that are disturbing, to say the least. I just managed to escape from this place. I might not have as much luck another time. Yeah. Okay, and then our sanity, because we watched him die, I'm assuming, right? Yeah, it's much lower. It was here. Now it's here. Shaken. So rather than whatever it was before, like fair-minded or whatever. Yeah, messed up, right? Rather than whatever it was, like confident or, well, like even-minded or whatever it was. I don't remember what it was called. But anyway, instead of that, now we're shaken. The ordeals you've gone through have left their mark, but you still manage as best you can. You keep your mind busy in order to chase away doubts and painful memories. You still have some way to go. Who knows where your mind could lead you along the paths of insanity. Edward Nightmares. Edward Pierce is a veteran of the First World War. Oh, that's the first one. Let's do this last one is the one, right? This was... Yeah, this was another one, right? Inside the Institute. So searching... I think I read this last time, but macabre discovery. Searching through the cellars of the Riverside Institute, Pierce entered a room that he first took for a morgue. But the advanced state of decay of the corpses that lay about the place quickly made him realize he was wrong. Nothing could justify the presence of such charnel house in a hospital. The putrid smell and the total absence of respect for human life, as witnessed by this room, profoundly shocked Pierce, costing him some of his sanity. And then this. The death of Francis Sanders. The weirdness of Francis Sanders' death went far beyond anything Pierce had ever seen. Lifted off his feet by an invisible force, the poor man's body was carried into the air before being thrown violently against the bars of his hiding place. Pierce, powerless, watched the limbs break and Sanders' body crumble to the ground. During long moments of agony, the detectives saw nothing that could explain this event. Weakened by his wounds and the operations he could remember undergoing, Pierce begins to question his ability to tell the difference between reality and the nightmares that haunt him. Yeah, now here's the thing. We're 5 in. We have 18 total to unlock, potentially. Dude, we're going to be completely bonkers by the time we leave. There's no way. There's no way we'll be okay after this. Okay, 3 character points. That's too bad medicine was too low for that one thing. We could have asked Sanders about that, maybe tried to help him. But medicine wasn't high enough. Okay, so we had decided we increased spot hidden. So I think now we want... analyze a crime scene and pick locks. And then eloquence. Yeah, we're going to do this one. So 1, 2, 3. 60% investigation now. That's pretty good. We'll be at 70% probably when we get level 4. And then we can work on these two, because these will both be 70%. These are both low enough. Right? Or maybe... oh yeah, see, it's only 45%. Went up 5% each time. Yeah, let's do this for sure. So we'll be at 60. 2 more will give us 70, and then we'll work on psychology and or eloquence. This needs 6. Both of these need 6 to advance. So they're basically the same right now. Okay. Yep. Yep. Okay. Gosh, I wish I would have known medicine you'd find more occultism stuff than medicine stuff. I would have put instead of 2 points, I think I put 2 in occult and 1 in medicine. When we started, I would have done anyway, I would have done more in medicine and less in occultism. But then I might not have figured out certain things like symbols too, so who knows. Okay. Okay. Chapter 6, Sanders' Residence. Pierce, Colden, and Bradley decided to team up to solve the Sarah Hawkins case. They have a new trail to follow. Francis Sanders, an art collector and friend of the painter who died right in front of Pierce. The detective goes to his house in order to speak to his widow about the shambler that the unfortunate man mentioned before he died.
What can I do for you, sir?
Mrs. Sanders, I'm a private detective. We must talk about your husband and his ties to Sarah Hawkins. Can I come in?
You may. However, before we go any further, please know that my husband died yesterday.
That is precisely what brings me here.
Well, well, look who's here. You know each other.
Our paths crossed, briefly. The brave detective has a talent for sticking his nose into my business.
I bump into her every time I'm investigating someone's death.
It's a small island, detective. My island. It's better that it's you bumping into me.
You're investigating Francis' death. Why? Who hired you?
I spoke to Francis before he died. His story suggests a link to a case I'm working on.
Well, since this business has got nothing to do with me, I'll be in your husband's office, Irene. We'll carry on later.
Very well, Miss Baker. This way, Mr. Pierce. And do make yourself comfortable. It would seem that you have much to tell me. May I inquire as to when you had the opportunity to talk to my husband?
Yesterday, I met him at the hospital. He spoke to me about Sarah Hawkins.
Oh, of course he spoke to you about her. That's all he talked about. Sarah Hawkins and her paintings. Please forgive my tone. The fact is that I have not been allowed to see him since he was interned. You, on the other hand, a perfect stranger, were able to see him and even talk with him the day he died. How was he? Were you present when he had this attack? What happened?
Geez, she's shaken up. It's clear she still cared about him a lot. You don't think so? Her voice was shaking just there. I think he's probably been struggling with his sanity for a while. So she's kind of gotten used to it in that sense. But I do think she is a little shaken up from his death. I'm not positive, but he died screaming right before my eyes. Let's not sugarcoat it at all. How's that?
What happened to your husband is terrible, Mrs. Sanders. But from what I saw, it was inevitable. The man I met yesterday had lost his reason. He suffers no longer, if you would allow me such a platitude.
Of course. Thank you for your kind words. Nobody in that hospital would have deigned to speak them to me. However, it will require more than that to soothe my mind. I need to understand. How could this happen? In a reputed institute? And right before your eyes? Did you not do anything to help him?
Well, I agree. I think in the beginning it was more, who's this rando who's visiting me? And so she was a little standoffish, right? She's like, I don't know who you are. Why the crap are you here? Kind of a thing. Even if they're talking about her husband, I think she's like a little bit like, ow. Hold to test eloquence.
It's terrible what happened to your husband, but I had nothing to do with it. I was injured, and I came across him in the hospital quite by chance.
Injured? Well, I'm delighted to see you in such fine fettle, Detective. Not everybody enjoyed such a prompt recovery.
I suppose Fuller does do miracles now and again.
Luck is obviously very kind to you. Oh, I'm tired, Mr. Pierce. I would be grateful if you could tell me what you expect of me, and then leave.
I deduce that your husband already mentioned this dimensional shambler.
Well, you can't imagine that's all he talked about. It's exhibited at the center of the gallery. No better place for the painting that endowed him with the privilege of such a shameful and miserable end to his life.
Hold on. The shambler is a painting by Sarah Hawkins.
Who else to paint such horrors? Take a look for yourself, if you feel so inclined.
It is my only lead at this stage. I suppose I have nothing to lose.
Then you have paid no heed. For my part, I refuse to set foot in that gallery again. But if you're so eager to see it...
Thank you, Mrs. Sanders. I won't be long. The day the shambler came into the Sanders' lives.
Photograph of Sarah Hawkins next to the Sanders. They must be close. Or at least they were close, apparently. Okay. Ah, reconstruction. Here we go.
Frances Sanders and Sarah Hawkins were close. Friends, even?
Right, because they were having a cup of tea together, and you wouldn't normally do that just with somebody you weren't very amicable with.
A house of artists. A house of artists.
Okay, so that's that one. Let's see, what else do we have? Nothing back there.
Sanders' accession register. He wrote beside the shambler, "Finally." What did Sarah Hawkins fear so much that she didn't want to sell the painting? He finally won. Was Sanders aware of his imminent doom? She first refused to sell the painting. How did that make her feel? Was she jealous of Sarah Hawkins?
That's
The
when he,
shambler. I need to see it.
that's when he ended with that. Oh, okay.
Did she really care for him after all?
Dear Madam, I acknowledge receipt of the letter in which you demand the body of your deceased husband. I am sorry to inform you that I cannot agree to return his body to you. At the moment of his internment, you signed a discharge, allowing me to dispose of his body as I see fit. I extend my deepest condolences to you, Thomas Fuller. Oh, you're right. Apparently, she does not actually like it. She does actually not care for him. I think you're right. I think at this point, now with the additional information, I wasn't sure. I was kind of leaning on the side of I think she does actually care for him, but maybe just had other reasons for being standoffish. But I think I'm wrong now. Given the investigation, I think you're right. I think he turned out to be more of an embarrassment to her, both in terms of the kinds of things he went on about, like the Shambler, and she's like, the Shambler, blah, blah, blah. Didn't realize that he, what was going on, that he went insane, so kind of tied to that. And then also that he had some kind of relationship with Sarah Hawkins. I don't think it was ever inappropriate. I don't even think it was ever going in an inappropriate direction. But I do think that he already kind of had visions about the Shambler or whatever. Or somehow he felt attracted to the painting or whatever. Anyway, so I think they had like a relationship that way. Like kind of shared nightmares maybe or something. But they weren't romantically linked or anything. But in the process of that, the wife, Isabel, I think, or whatever, did get jealous. I think you're right. Okay. Okay. Let's go. Apparently we lost some more sanity. So that's fantastic. We just barely got done losing sanity. We lose more sanity. God dang it. Breviary of Medicine, Tome 2. This second volume in the series covers everything from gas gangrene to trench nephritis. Oh, so World War I stuff. In addition to a precise and detailed study, the book presents some avant-garde theories. The incredible complexity of this book reserves it for medical experts. So we progressed some medicine too. Yeah, that's not disturbing at all. That's a beautiful painting you got there, duder. You friggin' psycho. Wow, that's... Is that the gallery that way? I wonder what some of these other...
Let's see what this cylinder has to say once it's inserted in a phonograph.
Audio recording that Francis Sanders left for his wife, Irene. Oh, so we're just going to nab it. Okay. Hopefully Francis doesn't... Or hopefully Irene doesn't... Whatever her name is. Anyway, doesn't notice that we walked off kifing her stuff. That was locked. So he definitely was like enjoyed impressionistic stuff. Like that painting. Also locked, okay. Ooh, spooky. Alright. So now I guess we'll continue this way. Yeah, I already tried this one, right? Pretty sure, right? Yeah. Okay. That looks like Yag, what I don't remember his name. The one that's like the big ocean. I mean, I know that like Cthulhu also does like has like water affinity somewhat, but there's one of the ancient ones is like really especially heavily tied to the ocean as well. Besides Cthulhu, there's one other.
I could use one of those.
Sleeping pills. Found these sleeping pills in Sanders' house. Were they prescribed to Francis Sanders or to Irene? Oh, apparently we're kifing that as well. Sure, let's just steal all of their stuff. No big deal. I'm sure nobody cares.
Strange. For months, Sarah Hawkins refused to part with her painting, to finally give it away for nothing.
Dear Francis, I beg you to give up all hope of ever owning this cursed painting. If our friendship has any meaning for you, please spare me the weight of guilt. I cannot be the architect of your fall. I beg you, my dear friend, forget the Shambler. Your friend, Sarah Hawkins.
Another volume of the Reverend's wife's diary.
Diary of the Pastor's Wife, Volume 3. This volume spends some time on Reverend Wickwood's community. His wife expresses her worries about the strange dreams that the Reverend's congregation are having since their arrival on the island. Some members of the community, her husband included, began to speak of their vision as a messenger sent by God. She is scared that they will suffer the same fate as the lost tribe. That's not great. Key to the Sanders Gallery. I had to use strength to do that? Really? Okay.
A strange Amerindian pendant.
An ancient amulet, probably Amerindian. I wonder what its purpose could be. Ward off evil, probably? So they thought, for example, that Cthulhu was a threat, or similar threats from beyond. I could see them wanting to ward them off, right? Dissertation on an anatomical question. Oh, more medicine. Good. Too bad I didn't have these two things right before I met Francis Sanders, where I could have then applied medicine. Anyway. It's a little bit of a sore spot because I was this close, I think, to getting it. It is the work of a student in book form. Although the observations are relevant, they lack the expertise of an experienced physician. However, the questions asked allow us to imagine new ways of exploring human anatomy. Right. Increases that. This. Would you read the book? Oh, is this possibly losing sanity? This is dangerous. I mean, it's not me going insane. Let's do it. Beyond Reality, achievement unlocked. Malleus Bestiarum, Volume 2, is a kind of encyclopedia of monstrous and unknown creatures. I'm beginning to believe they exist. This will affect your destiny. Oh, yep. I just lost some sanity. Crap. Oh well. Too late now.
That's twice you've stepped on my toes, Detective. Try not to make a habit of it.
I've got a lot of bad habits.
Some can be more fatal than others. What have you come looking for in this gallery?
Really? Gotta verify the paintings for a buyer? Lie to her? And what if she detects that you're lying? I'm not super eloquent. Let's try it. Hopefully she doesn't get pissed.
I have a well-off client in Boston who heard about the death of Francis Sanders and wanted me to size up his estate before making an offer to his widow.
Nice story. Bad lie. Learn how to dupe, Detective. But as long as you keep out of my way, you're free to carry on with your visit.
I figured my eloquence wasn't good enough.
And you? What brings you to the Sanders home?
I'm here on business. Irene asked me to liquidate all these paintings. She doesn't intend to hang around here for long.
Why you?
Believe it or not, there aren't many collectors on Darkwater. It needs someone with a network and a means of transport to the mainland. A choice that comes down to Fitzroy and me. And I'm far more pleasant, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, no.
Not now, sweetheart. I'd like to read this without some snoop looking over my shoulder.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Yeah, I should have figured she would know, but you don't know until you try, obviously. Now, it's possible I could have convinced her with eloquence if I would have allocated my points differently earlier. But obviously you don't do that. That's like cheating. You're like redoing stuff just so you can get the result you want. You should stick with your choices, right? Okay. That's all he says? Okay. So that's what I would do if I see a ceremonial dagger of some kind. I would go, instead of anything else. Weirdo.
These artifacts date from pre-Columbian times. These artifacts date from pre-Columbian times.
I could hide in a closet if I need to. I mean, that might just be a general thing. If you have a closet, have the icons you could hide. But it could also be that at some point I'm here, whether now or later, and I will need to hide. Maybe I sneak in here later, like late at night, trying to get more information because I'm not able to get what I want right now. Maybe that's a thing.
The man transforms an entire wing of his manor into an art gallery.
Interesting. Okay. I see the Shambler painting over there. I don't want to go to it quite yet. I want to see what else he's got in here. There is this. Interesting. Okay. He certainly had a penchant, maybe even an addiction to getting these kinds of portrayals, the horrific. Couldn't just get standard art. He had to get the very obscure, almost occult bordering. More oil for my lamp. Good. Another closet to hide in. It's making me feel like we're almost definitely coming back here at night, trying to sneak around. Oh, he just says, I was thinking he was going to say something after him, but apparently not. Okay.
Why was he so interested in old weapons?
It's not just old weapons. It's old occult stuff. Old occult weapons. We got these runic tablets. We've got these kinds of things. I mean, he was a very... yeah. Not senile. He was a very eclectic collector, I would say. Eclectic's not right, because eclectic means kind of scattered, a whole bunch of different varieties. It's not really. It's all mostly the same stuff. He was a very interesting, like, obscure collector, or a collector of the obscure. Angelic and demonic things as you go along. Often, apparently. Oh. Yet more oil for the lamp. So there are a couple places to get oil for the lamp. See, that just screams that you're going to be in darkness here, wandering around. Combination of hiding and trying to see stuff. Because why would you need your lamp refilled here? And why would you need the closets to hide in, right?
Is this dagger part of Sanders' collection, or was he seeking to acquire it?
Far from possessing the talents of Sarah Hawkins, Sanders drew a dagger with a tortured form down to the smallest detail. The guard carries a strange esoteric symbol, a recurring feature of his correspondence with Sarah. Okay, before we actually go to the painting and lose more sanity, let's look at what we got so far. All right, so we've got this. Yeah, we need to play this somewhere, and I don't know where we're going to play it. And then we have this key. It's the gallery, of course. Okay, and then knowledge. We got this. All right. Inventory. Oh, we just got the knowledge things. Okay, so... Oh, and this. Okay, clues. Chapter 6. So we had that. Yep. And then this. At the Sanders, cross-checking the information given by Francis Sanders and his widow, it is possible to reconstruct the events that led to the internment of Sanders. Everything points to Sanders and Sarah Hawkins being close, linked at least by the interest the collector showed in the artist's work, but more probably by a certain friendship, attested to by the repeated refusals of Sarah Hawkins to sell the painting called The Shambler. Against all expectations, she finally gave it away for free. I suspect he got to a certain point where he described to her nightmares he was having or something, and she knew it was already too late. So she figured she might as well give it to him. I would guess, although I don't know for sure, of course. The feelings still shown by Irene Sanders towards Sarah Hawkins are evidently derived from what she considers to be the artist's responsibility. Madness struck Sanders a short while after he gained possession of the painting. But I feel like full madness struck him shortly after. But I feel like he felt drawn to it and that he probably started having kind of the first hints of insanity before he even got the painting. I don't know for sure, of course, but... Letter of refusal. Yep, and then letter by Sarah Hawkins saying, please don't try to get the painting, and then the drawing of the dagger. Okay. In Darkwater, we have more inhabitants. We have Irene Sanders. Age 41, occupation none. It's clear that she holds Sarah Hawkins responsible for the death of her husband. What I don't understand about Irene Sanders is this mix of sadness and insensitivity. It looks like she had given up on her husband long before his horrid death in the cellars of the Riverside Institute. Yeah, so that's kind of what I was thinking initially, too. But I do think she probably has more embarrassment than anything about him. Like, she's embarrassed that he went insane, I would guess. I don't know for sure, but I think so. Dimensional Shambler. The Dimensional Shambler comes from a dark and inhospitable dimension where the rarity of food sources keeps it in a state of permanent starvation. This is why it is in a constant state of readiness to travel to other dimensions in order to feed on its inhabitants. Make sure you never weaken the veils of your dimension, otherwise you risk attracting this very dangerous creature. Should this happen, you just have to lay eyes upon it for its being to anchor itself in your dimension, and to allow it to rip you open with its claws. Extract taken from the Malleus Bestiarium by Abigail G. And then Malleus Bestiarum. Men will gather the knowledge through the lines dictated to me by the great old ones, but also in other volumes. Visions that assail me, whisper me names. That's what they're called, the great old ones, not the ancient ones. They're called great old ones. That's right. The visions that assail me whisper me names and silhouettes of mystical creatures. Soon the Malleus Monstrorum, repository of all anatomical, cosmic, and dimensional knowledge, will be seen as the authoritative work. This book, unholy among the most cursed books, will one day be the final rampart between man and the predators that are waiting to devour him, hidden behind the veils of parallel dimensions. Yikes. That's very bad. Okay, and then finally Pierce. Sanity. Shaken. Yep, this most recent thing. Pierce read an ancient treatise, the Malleus Bestiarum. This bestiary makes an inventory of numerous creatures from the occult world or parallel dimensions. The very nature of its knowledge makes it an unholy book. By reading it, Pierce lost some of his sanity. Yep, that was a mistake. It increased my knowledge of the occult, but it also increased my sanity, my insanity, or decreased my sanity, so that's great. 62% now, though, on the occult. I really need medicine is what I need, not occult so much now. Okay. 2, huh? Yeah, I just need 2, and then I'm up to the next one. So let's do this, and then we'll start working on... I don't know which of the other 2. Okay. Okay, so we are now expert in spot hidden, expert in investigation. So I think... I mean psychology, but I think we're gonna try eloquence. Seems like I've had now that I probably started is probably when I won't need it for a while. But it seems like we're getting several things with eloquence now, so maybe it's better to put points into that. Okay. All right, so we've got all that stuff. Okay, now we're gonna lose more sanity. You ready? Here we go. Yay for sanity. Loss. I should say. Not sanity, but sanity loss. Is a dimensional shambler going to come out of the... Oh, frick. Yep. Oh, crapo. No, 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 don't back up to the painting. Yeah, hide, dude, hide. Oh, crappy. Don't look up. Just let it go. Now we're gonna have to sneak out of here, I think, right?
What the hell was that? I can't even touch it. No way out. No choice. I must get rid of it.
Okay, I'm dead. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Jeez. Okay.
What the hell was that?
I'm dead. Just stop. I'm dead. I'll just read it. Ah. Okay.
What the hell was that?
look at it.
I can't even touch it.
Really? Ah! 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 Crap. Ah!
No way out. No choice. I must get rid of it. Now. Maybe I can use this dagger.
Go! Oh, I see. Apparently not. Okay, we get it.
What the hell was that?
You now hide in the
I
closet.
can't even touch it. Maybe I can use this dagger.
Come on, I'm hitting E. Can I not hit E and kill it? Then what do I do? Oh, I wonder if I have to use it on the painting. I have to probably have to use it on the painting. Okay.
What the hell was that?
Which means go the long way around to get back there.
Damn. Maybe I can use this dagger. Damn it. This dagger didn't work.
There were another couple of daggers.
Damn it. I have to use a specific dagger.
Nope. One of these daggers someday there will be a dagger. No crap! Ah! Okay. So we know it's daggers, it's not. Or maybe you have to try every flippin' one. I don't know.
What the hell was that?
I do this one? We'll just try various
Maybe
ones.
I can use this dagger.
Ah! That was pointless. Yeah, okay, we get it. I'm dead. Ah, jerks. Alright.
What the hell was that?
I guess I'm just gonna have to do every flippin' one until. Okay, let's try this one.
Damn. Maybe.
Pretty sure this is
I can
wrong,
use
but
this dagger. Damn
No.
it! This dagger didn't work. Damn it!
nope, not that one either.
I have to use a specific dagger.
That's great. Ah! Wrong way, wrong way, wrong way. Oh, wrong way. Oh, no, 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 no. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Ha! No, 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 no. No. Of course not. Okay, I've now done everything in that room. There is not a dagger in that room that I've not already done. No, 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 no. Ah, get out, get out, get out, get out. See, everything in here is done. I've already done all of those daggers. Not that one either. Where are you? Where? There. Ah! No, 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 no. No, 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 no. This is not the investigator you're looking for. I'm somewhere else. Ah! No, 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 no. Ah! Get off my butt! You don't look good on my butt, okay, dude? You do not go well. This body, this butt, and you do not go well together. Yep, okay. Ah! No! No, 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 no. Where? No, you're coming. You're gonna be too close, I think. I don't think I have time to stab. Ah! No, 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 no. Where? Still no. Crap. No. Ah! Yeah. Hi. No. No, 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 no. Grab it. Ah! One of them somewhere, but I don't know where. Nope. Okay, just go. Just go. Just go. Just go. There's a lot of anger behind me. Oh, there's anger. Whoa, there's anger. Hi. There is so much anger right now. Okay, so this one, empty. This one, empty. This one, empty. This one, empty. So there's nothing in this here, maybe. Yeah. Still have this, technically. Okay. I started heading toward him. No, no, no. Do not do that. There's literally nothing else. Oh, here's another. Gosh, I keep finding potentials. Coming this way. Oh, there. Ah! Yeah! Hi! Hi! No! Go away! I don't want to be friends! I don't even know what kinds of things you like except eating people. So, no. Let's not get to know each other. Nah! Problem is, I don't know which way. There we go. Hi. No. Gosh. Which one?
This dagger looks different.
Whew, we got it. Stab him with the dagger. Stay sane, don't. From Beyond, game saved. Of course, we've lost more sanity now.
You sure you won't be needing that hand? You're losing it, Detective. At this rate, you're right. The bottle will get you before I do.
You didn't see anything.
I saw you within an inch of putting a dagger through your forearm. Did I miss something more interesting?
She's not going to believe me, I'm sure, but...
Sanders was right. This painting is cursed.
What are you talking about?
I was attacked by a creature. I pushed it back, I think.
I think so too.
You knew. You knew about the beast.
What are you talking about? Think yourself lucky that I saved your hand, even if it was to save my goods.
You mean me?
Don't flatter yourself, sweetheart. I'm talking about the contents of this gallery. And by the way, where do you think you're going with that dagger?
It saved my life. It's an extraordinary dagger.
You should talk to Algernon Drake. He's an antique dealer here on Darkwater. He'll tell you all about it. From what I saw in the ledgers, it was him who sold it to Sanders.
It's not your style to give me free information like that.
Take it as payment for being my canary. A simple trade-off. Now go see your antique seller. I've still got things to settle with Irene.
Chapter 7, The Nameless Bookstore. The Shambler turned out to be much more than an artwork painted by Sarah Hawkins, as a huge creature came out of the painting to attack Pierce. After a hard fight, the detective managed to send it back into the painting. He later discovered that the dagger he used to repel the creature had been sold to Sanders by a man named Algernon Drake, owner of the Nameless Bookstore. Pierce decides to pay the library a visit. Oh, there's blood. I wonder if cultists have visited here. Killed him.
Where's the bookseller?
All right, and that's time, so we're going to go ahead and end it here. Just as it's getting good. Ah. Okay. So, as always, thanks for joining me tonight. Tomorrow, we should be doing more... what is tomorrow night? Sunday, I think, is Scratches, right? So I think tomorrow night is... No, Sunday is Homesick, right? So tomorrow night is Scratches. I think that's right. So tomorrow night Scratches, and then we have more Homesick on Sunday. Yep. So I will talk to you guys then. Hopefully you enjoyed tonight. And as always, if you have any comments to put in below, or if you like the video or anything like that, I will try to respond. I appreciate all you guys do for me. Stay cool. Till then, peace.